to all gathered at this Multiple District 60 LCIF Club Coordinators Session. I am Claire Davidson Williams, your Multiple District 60 LCIF Coordinator. And with us tonight would be the full team of MD60 district coordinators, and I would ask them to open their mics and the camera where possible and introduce yourselves so that we say good night.
Lion Claire, I'm happy to go ahead. I'm Lion Gina Barnes. I'm from District 60B. I'm one of the LCIF coordinators, and I support you in promoting in the entire Multiple District 60 LCIF.
Great. Thank you, Lion Gina.
Okay, since I'm appearing next, I'll go after Lion Gina Chair. I am Lion Maureen Graham. I am the LCIF coordinator for Region 3. And like Lion Gina, I'm very happy to be here to support each other. But then again, we are a team. So when you see one, you see all. And when you touch one, you touch all.
Good evening. Since we're in 60B, my name is Lion Carmen Lake. I'm LCIF co-coordinator for Region 2. My apologies, for some reason my camera just isn't working. My background is there, but my you're not seeing me.
Welcome, Lion Carmen.
Good evening. Can I introduce myself? I'm Lion Elaine Robinson, and I am a coordinator for 60B, with my focus being on regions 1 and 4 that are in Jamaica.
Welcome, Lion Elaine.
Yes, and I apologize. My video doesn't work either. Sorry. Yeah.
Good evening, all. I'm Lion Denise Wolford. I am LCIF District Coordinator representing Guyana. Lovely being here. And of course, I support you and the rest of the team on this initiative.
Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Lion Rudolph Augustine. I waited on the last. As you can see, there are only women in the team. I'm the king of that team. Or they call me. I'm from Region 1 Suriname, and I'm also pleased to join this group.
Thank you, king of the team. All right, great. So this is our Multiple District 60 team. I didn't say that I am from Trinidad and Tobago, Region 3, and we are all happy to be here. Permit me to recognize now all presidents in our midst, members from the GAT team from our various clubs and districts, our current club coordinators. We should have quite a lot of them here today. Our past international officers, if there are any among us. Our international director, I'll recognize her in her absence. Our district governors and vice district governors, and our council chair. Maybe along the way they will join us. And we have our constitutional area leader, Lion Maxine, Area 1E, Lion Maxine Cummings from Guyana. And we have our very special guest, Lion Lorrie Reiger. She is our constitutional area vice chairperson, and we're very happy to have her here. So welcome again. And this session, as a team, we felt that we needed to have this session. We usually have an awareness session for club coordinators every year. This time, we wanted to take a different slant so that we could have the involvement of all our club coordinators and other interested persons. So without further ado, I will invite Lion Gina, who will give us an overview of our program this afternoon. Lion Gina, the mic is over to you.
Thank you very much, Lion Claire. And I should have mentioned earlier that I'm speaking from the Cayman Islands where I reside, and I'm promoting LCIF along with other coordinators. Good evening, Lion leaders. It's my pleasure to add to Lion Claire's welcome and to give a brief outline of the objectives that we hope to accomplish for this session, which encompasses all of Multiple District 60. This gathering is very much by design. Tonight, we brought together many of the key people who shape how LCIF is understood, promoted, and supported at a club level, because the future success of LCIF depends on informed, inspired, and connected leaders like you. We're fortunate to hear from Constitutional Area 1E leader, past Council Chairman Maxine, who Lion Claire just had the pleasure of welcoming. And we're especially honored to also welcome our guest speaker, Lion Lorrie, who is Constitutional Area 1 Vice Chair. And she's a true humanitarian partner who always brings practical guidance and heartfelt inspiration. So I know having Lorrie here, Lion Lorrie here, is going to add a special flavor to what we do, which is going to be very user-friendly, very practical. Our aim this evening is simple: to share experiences, to explore effective fundraising and promotional ideas, and to, perhaps most importantly, strengthen collaboration amongst all of us with the Global Action Team and the Club Service Chairs, and to openly discuss both our successes and challenges. We're confident that by doing this, we'll be able to identify some of the common snags. When we talk things through, we realize that we're not the only ones facing those challenges. And through these shared experiences, we're perhaps able to collaboratively suggest workable solutions. We also hope to explore practical approaches to presenting and promoting LCIF at a club level. We want to highlight effective LCIF fundraising and proven best practices, and some of these will emerge in our discussions. We want to hear from you. We want to examine how seamless cooperation between LCIF coordinators, GAT leaders, and club service chairs can amplify our impact. And we want to find ways to integrate service and fundraising efforts for stronger LCIF outcomes. Just as importantly, we want to build leadership continuity. We want to encourage succession planning and secure the buy-in of key Lion leaders for the years ahead. We're therefore extremely glad to have several of the current club presidents with us this evening, as this session, while helping you to more effectively support your current LCIF club coordinators, will also help you seamlessly transition into your role next year as IPP as the LCIF club coordinator. This is not a session of long speeches or heavy protocol. It's meant to be interactive, energetic, and solution-focused. A place where we talk with each other freely, learn from each other, and leave with fresh ideas to take back to our clubs. So thank you for being here, for your commitment to LCIF, and for your willingness to share and engage. Let's make this an inspiring and productive journey together.
Thank you so very much, Lion Gina. With that said, I am sure all of you, like me, are now even more eager to hear what's to be shared tonight. So talking about sharing, I'd like to invite Lion Rudolph Augustine to lead us in the sharing segment, where we would invite our club coordinators or presidents to share with us their experiences. Lion Rudy, the mic is yours.
Thank you, Chairperson. Also, thank you for you guys for joining and being part of our global organization, LCI and LCIF. This part of the session will be interactive, where we encourage you to share your stories. This part of the session will last 10 minutes. So I will ask you to speak very brief, short, so we can allow much coordinator to share their stories. So we will share some question in the screen. And we start with the first question. I think we have sent this information to you, so you answer all the question we sent before. And the first question we have is, have you contributed to LCIF in the last 2 years? So who can I give the floor? If you want to speak, please unmute your mic.
We could probably show all three
Yeah.
questions.
The next question is, how much are you able to donate yearly? We have some more questions. By decide to create and to continue social impact, knowing the less fortunate can benefit from this fund, especially if a disaster strikes. I like to help others. I see it as a way of paying it forward, knowing what my contribution can do in terms of helping more people around the world. When I see the way LCF donates to countries, especially after a disaster, LCF deliverables and possible grant for my club. I also want to bring up, especially for 60A, what are the challenges that impact your club or region for apply for grants? As we have seen, LCI, District 60B, they are going ahead of us. So I'd see not so much requests. We don't see any requests this year from 60A. So maybe you can discuss that also. What are the challenges? Line Andre, line Vincent. Hi guys, this is your session. Please speak up. Line Vincent, can I give you the floor? Line Claudine Brown. Did they have access to speak, Line Claire?
Yes, they do. And I would just pop in again to encourage persons to open. We know that there are areas that you can share on, or maybe you would have had a successful LCIF project, an LCIF fundraiser, or a successful grant that you would want to share. What are some of those areas that you can tell us about that, you know, others can learn from your experience?
Yeah.
Or you can now learn from what is being shared?
Yeah.
Good night, fellow Lions. Lion Roxanne Ogaru, immediate past president and LCIF coordinator, Port of Spain Success Lavender Lions Club, District 60A. I want to share, and initially, I would have to say one of our challenges in terms of not applying for a grant for the fiscal year 2025, 2026, we would have barely missed the date. We knew of the date for application, but we missed it somewhat. And we are hoping that for the upcoming fiscal year that we would be on things and we would at least be able to apply for a grant. we would have been guided accordingly by Lion Claire. So hopefully this upcoming fiscal year, we should have some luck. But we have had a successful year. We have had an amazing project. To this date, our club would have made a contribution of some 1,900 plus US dollars. And this would have been the efforts, a collaborative effort between the immediate past president, immediate LCIF coordinator, and the current LCIF coordinator of the club, myself and our LCIF team. Now, this fiscal year, we took on an approach where we did a joint project, we did a fundraiser, and with this fundraiser, we would have been able to contribute or make a donation to LCIF on the behalf of every member of our club. That's 37, today 37 members at $35 US contribution to LCIF, bringing up our amount to the 1,900 and something US dollars. So the project was successful, as mentioned, and the efforts are coming in. The suggestions for more fundraisers. In fact, our fundraiser this year for LCIF was, it was targeted towards getting the funds in for Giving Tuesday. And we were successfully able to complete that fundraiser and make our contribution. So we are proud. Our club is proud. We are now a 100% giving club. And we are looking forward to doing that again next fiscal year. I encourage the clubs, IPPs, LCIF chairs, encourage your club members, come up with impactful fundraisers, make some money, make your donation. That's my contribution.
Thank you, Roxanne, for sharing your stories, and also thank you for your donation. Is there someone else that can be a president or is there another coordinator who want to speak, sharing the story?
Good evening, all. I'm Lion Alicia from the Lions Club at Tropical Garden. I must say that in our club, we have been getting full support from our members, whether it's at Giving Tuesday and or on a yearly basis. For this Lionistic year, I think so far, we have donated to LCIF somewhere around $5,000 US. Could be more. We had an excellent MJF luncheon about a week ago, and I know we do have some funds from there that we will be transferring to LCIF as well. And with that, we're also planning a corporate pickleball competition, which we're hoping to pull off in March of this year before the end of the Lionistic year. Yeah. And that's from Lions Club at Tropical Garden, what we have been doing in terms of getting funds for LCIF.
Thank you so much, Lion Alicia, and thank you for the donation. Well done.
And Lion Alicia, I think you're doing a coin collection too.
Okay.
That is correct, Lion Gina. Yes, we are doing a coin collection. We're doing multiple things. We're doing numerous things in terms of raising fund for LCIF.
Thank you.
We are also encouraging members who would have had their MJF to kind of top up and move to the next level of a PMJF, whether it's a 1 diamond, 2 diamond, 3 diamond, and it goes on. So we have been pushing on this end with our members, to do as much as we can.
Thank you so much for your contribution.
If I may,
yes,
Lion Carmen, I wonder if the Lions Club of Tropical Garden can probably give the clubs within in the other districts some insight on how they do the donations, because I think that the Lions Club of Tropical Garden has really done a great job and is doing it a bit different than the other clubs within the district. I don't see any other club within the district doing fundraising activities in the community for LCIF as because within the district, I know for me it seems like a lot of the clubs are focusing more on raising funds from the members and not necessarily going into the community and the businesses to raise funds. So maybe you could provide some insight on that, on to help the clubs.
No
That is also,
problem.
yeah, but that's also the reason we have this meeting. We can share our story, and so we can see how you're doing it, and other clubs can take have benefit of that also.
Right. So
Okay,
with the
next. Yeah.
Oh, you want me to share a story or now, or would you like me to send something in writing?
I suggest you send something in writing so we can give other person to speak about
It's for it to be circulated. No problem.
Yeah.
We'll do.
Yes, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Next.
Hi, I'm Lion Brian Barnes of the Grand Cayman Club. I'm Alicia's partner in crime here on this side of the world with Lion Gina. As I concur with her, that we had an excellent MGF luncheon. One of our major fundraisers for LCIF was our golf tournament, which we had to postpone last month due to unforeseen circumstances. But I do have one new fundraiser coming up. It links with our site week. It's called Ride for Sight because I'm a very avid motorcyclist, and I'm getting a bunch of the bikers around the island to team up for a new fundraiser called Ride for Sight, so we can raise some funds. We're also encouraging our, like she said, we're encouraging our members to step up also and donate.
Thank you, Glenn, Brian. Next. We have 4 more minutes. Are there someone else want to share?
Good evening. I am Ernie Hodge-Carty, president of the Anguilla Lions Club in Zone 2B, and we have been raising funds from the communities for LCIF, and we keep it simple. We bake Johnny cakes and people come and buy. And we have had, I think, about 3 such fundraisers, and our plan is to do it quarterly. So we have the outside rock oven where we light it a fire and we roll out the Johnny cakes, we bake them, and folks come and buy 10, 15, 20 Johnny cakes. And that's one of our LCIF fundraisers, and it's been successful so far.
How much you think you can raise so far for this event, more or less?
I know from one particular event, it was like 600,
okay.
Well, a combination, EC, US, we have our own currency, EC dollar, US, but in that average, yes.
Thank you, Leandra. Next coordinator or president who want to share? Can we have someone from Region 2, Guyana or Suriname? Hello. Okay, if none, then I suggest I turn off the meeting back to you, Lion Claire.
Thank you very much, Lion Rudy. I think maybe it's the hour. They had some shy tea or something. Not chai tea. Maybe they had shy tea.
Yes, it is 10 o'clock in Suriname, and then in Guyana it's 9 o'clock. So
you know,
it's a
we have
challenge.
so many online, and it's as Langina opened, it was a time for persons to share their stories. And I do thank each person, those persons who shared some really good stories of their fundraisers. And one thing I took note of is the idea of missing times, because as Rudy started, we, especially in 60A, we have not been doing much grant applications. And I was hearing about the time. Very often, we miss that 90-day window when we should be applying for grants. So that's something we need to look at. So as we go along, I would like to now invite our very own past Council Chair Lion Maxine. She is our constitutional area leader, 1E, and she will bring some remarks for us. Lion Maxine?
Hi, thank you, Lion Claire. Good evening, everyone. I'm assuming that we have some of our esteemed lions in the district online with us this evening. I just wanted to say it's a privilege for me to join you this evening. And as the area leader, constitutional area leader 1E, this is my first meeting with you since I was appointed to this position. And so I'm looking forward to celebrating your accomplishments. Actually, I was taking this opportunity to celebrate your accomplishments with you and to help to motivate you and the members of the multiple district to become more involved in LCIF. Our coordinators were somewhat timid this evening to share their stories, and I was hoping that that would set the tone for the interaction with our special guests. But I figure by the time Lion Lorrie gets going, they will be motivated to at least engage to get answers to some questions. Now, this fiscal year, clubs and individuals have shown increased engagement. That I've noticed, resulting in contributions that in some clubs for many years there were none. And I think that for some clubs we have already seen that they have already surpassed their contributions made in the last fiscal year. If we keep up the momentum, we could reach or even surpass last year's goals. A fantastic result for both individual clubs and our district, especially as we aim to meet the LCIF goals. That would be a fantastic achievement for us if we continue to surpass what we made last year. I wish to take this opportunity to congratulate the clubs who contributed for the first time in years, and to congratulate those members who became Melvin Jones Fellows within the last few months. Now, during the first half of this year, the Hurricane Melissa caused significant damage across the Caribbean, including Jamaica. LCIF responded quickly, offering financial support through emergency and catastrophe grants to the Jamaica Lions. I want to highlight that these grants cover not just disaster, and I mean when I say these grants, I'm speaking generally about grants from LCIF. They're not only meant for disasters, but are available for other activities. And I know that some of our clubs are thinking about, and like we heard a little earlier, so it was about the timing that we failed to make our applications so that we could reach the cutoff date for the grant. Now, for today's session, we wanted a fresh perspective so that the members of the multiple district can decide. So we decided to invite a special guest whose experience will hopefully spark even more contributions from our multiple district. I encourage everyone to take part in the discussions with our esteemed guests, whom I am now pleased to introduce. Lorrie E. Reiger of Roslyn Harbor, New York, served as district governor in both 2009, 2010, and 2012, 2013. She's a life member of the Patchogue Lioness Lions Club, and she's a humanitarian partner. Currently, Lion Lorrie is the Constitutional Area 1 LCIF Vice Leader. She is a member of the New York State and Bermuda Lions Foundation, secretary, and a member of the Telethon Committee. Past District Governor Lorrie has attended 3 Certified Guardian Lion training sessions and also presented several Guardian Lions at several Guardian Lion sessions. She's a graduate of the Senior Lions Leadership Institute, Faculty Development Institute, Faculty Development Excellence Series. She's a member of the first graduating class of Lions University, where she earned a bachelor's, master's, and PhD, and is a Lions certified instructor. Due to her qualifications, Lion Lorrie has been invited to speak at the K2S Long Island Lions Forum, the Leo Forum, and the 26th and 2018 LCI USA Canada Forum, as well as she provides instructions on many Lions projects. Past District Governor Lorrie taught first and third grades for 28 years before retiring in 2018. She and her husband, past District Governor Fred, are proud parents of 2 children who are also Lion members. Lions, Leos, I am assuming we have some in our audience. I present to you our guest special presenter for this evening, Lion Lorrie Reiger. Lion Lorrie?
Thank you so much, Maxine, and welcome everybody. I'm going to just ask, I have some PowerPoint slides. Can I share my screen?
Yes, you can.
Okay, great. And let me just find, should be it. Can you all see that?
Seeing it, yes. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, great.
Yes.
Okay. So we're going to be focusing on our club LCIF coordinators, and just right out of the gate, I want to thank all of those who signed up to be club coordinators. It's a very important job. And these are some of the items we're going to cover this evening. And we're going to start with what is LCIF. You may not be used to it yet, but Lions International is now just called Lions International instead of Lions Clubs International. And that came about because it's Rotary International, it's all the other organizations are just their organization and then international. So we wanted to just make it easier on the public. But within our own organization, we're still LCI, and LCIF, of course, is the Lions Foundation. Oops. Okay. So what does our foundation do? Thanks to the donors, LCIF granted more than $1.4 billion to Lions service projects and partnerships around the world. The generosity of Lions community has allowed LCIF to save site, support youth, provide disaster relief, and address a wide range of humanitarian needs. And I just want to interject here. At any point, if I say something that triggers a thought that you want to share, it's totally okay to interrupt me, and then we'll go back to the slides when we're finished. So feel free to do that. Okay. So our impact is just some examples. We've done 9.7 million cataract surgeries performed to restore sight. More than 20 million students worldwide have been impacted by Lion's Quest. More than $160 million in funding awarded to communities devastated by natural disasters. Over 5 million people are benefiting from diabetes-related grant projects, and Sight for Kids has touched nearly 50 million school children. So why is your foundation important? Well, number one, it's the world's largest and most effective organization. It's respected worldwide as the leaders in service. It takes our money and magnifies the impact that we can have both locally and globally. It enables clubs and districts to take on much larger projects that they could do if they did them alone. And very importantly, a lot of people lose sight of this. This is our foundation. It is a 501c3, just like any other foundation. And as members of this organization, it only makes sense that we support it. The success of LCIF is truly the success of every Lion. So the club coordinator, it's a one-year term. It can be repeated. Let's go on. The mission statement is to empower Lions clubs, volunteers, and partners to improve health and well-being, strengthen communities, and support those in need through humanitarian services and grants that impact lives locally and globally, and encourage peace and international understanding.
Hey, Lorrie, we only see the first slide. I don't know if you go with the slides.
Oh, the slides aren't changing?
No.
Oh, okay. So then I'm going to have to leave it in the small view. You can see it now?
Yes.
Okay. So there's something that goes on with my computer sometimes when I share these. I have to figure it out. But for tonight, we'll look at it this way. Thank you for letting me know. Okay, so your role, and some of you have already expressed that you're doing this, number one is raising funds. It's to either implement fundraising strategies that are new. So you could create a fundraiser that your club has never done before and have all the proceeds go to LCIF, which is an example I think I heard a little while ago. You can also take an existing fundraiser and say, before the fundraiser takes place, 10% of what we earn will go to LCIF from our fundraiser this year.
Also till 8 o'clock is okay with I.
I'm sorry, I didn't get that.
You can proceed.
Okay. So there's two ways to go about it. So a brand new fundraiser, or using a current fundraiser and having a percentage go to LCIF. Okay, so you make a plan, develop a set of activities for a club to support over a given year. Tell the story of LCIF. Educate the club on the impact of LCIF. And a little later on, I'm going to share a story that I told many times, not to this group yet. And it's one that always kind of makes me tear up because the impact that it had in this one situation was amazing. So you build a team. As the LCIF coordinator, you're not all by yourself. You can see that at the district level, they have their team, and that's the club coordinators. The club coordinators in your club, you should grab a couple of members and work together as a team as well. Learn more about LCIF grants. DCG grants is something that takes a little time to explain. From what I heard recently on your other call that you had, no one has yet earned DCG grant funds, but I can let you know how you can do that. And ask your district coordinator for a local grant history report. For those coordinators that are on the line, if you go to the LCIF resource center, I almost said portal, go to the resource center, and all the grants that have been issued are now listed there. So you can see that at any time. If you don't know how to find it as a club coordinator, you can ask your district coordinator for assistance. Okay. So the expectations for a club coordinator, and I'm just going to move the pictures a little bit. Here we go. Okay. Present information to your club members that you receive from LCIF or the district coordinator. As a club coordinator, you should be receiving emails from our LCIF chairperson, past president Fabricio Oliveira, and those messages should be shared with your club. Hopefully your club does reports during their meetings, and that would be the perfect time to do that. Remind your club that it is only through financial support that LCIF is able to carry out its purpose. And something really important to keep in mind, because I know we're talking about, you know, individuals sometimes have a hardship in donating. It's not the amount that's donated that's important. It's the fact that a donation is being made, because donating is service. It's making humanitarian service possible, and the amount is not the important part. So whatever people can do is what we should accept. Suggest that
Lorrie, could I
Yes.
could I be excused? I'm seeing a hand up from Lion Morel. Are you trying to ask a question? Lion Morel Newton?
If you have trouble with your microphone, maybe put it in the chat, and Claire, I'll
I
ask
will
if you
pick it
could
up.
monitor the chat for me.
Sure, I'll do that.
Thank you. Okay. Okay. Prepare to discuss and support presenting a Melvin Jones Fellowship to a deserving Lion or community supporter. And ensure that your club has a budgeted line item for an LCIF donation. Again, it doesn't have to be that $1,000 for Melvin Jones. It could be $200, and 5 years later, you'll have a Melvin Jones. So the money never goes away that you donate, and it's always, there's a clear record of how much is donated and who donated it. So the credit is always there, and it never expires. As LCIF club coordinators, you are the contact between the district coordinator and your club members. Your goal is to share LCIF information and to motivate fellow Lions to support the foundation. That's basically your job, and it's twofold. So sharing information and motivating donations. The district coordinator is always available to assist with handouts, presentations, and to answer any questions that you may encounter. And on the topic of questions, if somebody asks you a question, I have to tell you, nobody, including myself, nobody knows everything. A lot of people have a lot of information, but you're going to stump somebody eventually. And it's okay to say, you know what, I don't know the answer to that, but I will get back to you. And that's the important part. Get the answer back to them as soon as you can. I generally try to get an answer by the next day if it's possible. So I find the right person, and that's the key. You may not know the answer, but you know the person you can ask. And then just ask them and remember to give the response. Okay. And remember, you are not alone, and ask for assistance. Okay, we're going to skip that slide. So why should Lions support LCIF? Well, Lions are all about service, and LCIF is about supporting humanitarian service. So it's exactly what our mission is as Lions. Why should my club become involved? Well, number one, we're all Lions, and this is a Lions foundation. And as Lions and as a member of that foundation, we should support our own. We also get regular grants, and this was mentioned earlier. It's not just catastrophe grants, although you now know that those are available as soon as you need them, but there are 10 different types of grants that are available through LCIF, and even one specifically for LEOs. I heard that you have LEOs. So there's a grant for LEOs as well, and it helps them learn how to write a grant and go through the grant process. So it's really a wonderful experience for LEOs. So by donating to LCIF, we can change the world.
Before you move on, Lion Lorrie?
Yes.
Okay, the question is in the chat. Lion Morel says, my question relates to dedicating a percentage of fundraising project to donations towards LCIF. Please clarify, as I thought the funds for LCIF had to be raised in a specific project or type of fundraising.
Okay, good question. This is not like when you have, some clubs try to raise money for their administrative account, and you might be confusing the two. Administrative accounts is sort of frowned upon to have a fundraiser for, because that has to be money raised only by Lions for Lions because it's being used for an administrative account. But LCIF money can come from the public, non-Lions, it can come from Lions. So there's no worry about mixing money between Lions and non-Lions. And by taking a percentage in advance, everybody is aware that no matter what amount is raised, I'll just use the example of 10%, 10% of that will go to LCIF. So as long as you are clear about that at the beginning of the fundraiser, there's no issues with that at all. I just want to see if there's any follow-up question to what I just said.
I'm not seeing any. He says, thank you.
Okay, great. So does LCIF support local clubs through grants? Absolutely. LCIF has been supporting Lions services for over 50 years. Since 1968, we've awarded more than 23,000 grants, totaling over $1.4 billion. In 2018, we launched a program that helped clubs to provide humanitarian service through the district and club community impact grants. And I just want to briefly explain how that works. If a club, I don't know your club names. I heard something about a tree something. Help me out, Claire. What's the name of that club?
Tropical Gardens.
Tropical Gardens. There we go. Okay, thank you. So if the Tropical Gardens Lions, if their members, let's say some of the members have donated money that when you add their money together, it comes to $3,000. That doesn't mean that everybody donated $1,000, but when you add their money together, it equals $3,000. And the club said, we have $2,000 we can donate. Now that adds together to be a total of $5,000. So it's club individuals plus the club itself. If it equals $5,000 or more in a Lions year, has to be in the same Lions year, then the club has to donate and the individuals have to donate to empowering service. It basically means it's unrestricted funds, which is different than disaster relief, where that money is definitely only going to go to a disaster. So that's restricted. Okay, empowering service is more general. And it would be the fund that if ever we ran out of disaster relief money and there was a disaster that needed money, people needed money for recovery, they would then go to empowering service, the general fund for that money. So we wouldn't run out and we wouldn't say, oh, I'm sorry, you had a disaster, we can't help. We would go to empowering service. So I'll say it again. So it's a $5,000 total in one Lions year, all donated to empowering service. And what you get back is a credit in the form of they call it DCG, District and Club Community Impact Grant. And that money is good for 15 years from the time you earn it. And if you earn money in multiple years, you can combine those totals together for a larger grant. And the other plus of it is you can use DCG grant money as matching funds for another LCIF grant that's larger. So there's a lot of advantages to it. It's being able to reach that $5,000 mark that sometimes trips up the clubs. Okay. So just a little overview, because as a coordinator, sometimes you will be asked to know about grants. Nobody has to have this memorized. There's a lot of information to know about grants, but I would encourage you to take time to go to lionsclubs.org and pull up the grant section. And from time to time, just read through one grant and kind of get the feel for it so you're a little more familiar. But we've talked about the 23,000. We've talked about the 1.4 billion a couple of times now. These are what you will find, and they are booklets that explain each of the types of grants. There's vision, hunger, emergency, disaster relief, disaster preparedness, diabetes, childhood cancer, the Leo service grant that I talked about, and DCG money. And the most commonly used, I think, other than disaster relief, is probably the matching grant application. Now, you talked about deadlines. These are the deadlines. They never change. So your grants are due October 1st for review in February, right? November, December, January, and January, I'm sorry. February 1st, and it's reviewed 3 months later, and May 1st, and it's reviewed 3 months later. The reason for that 3-month time period, the 90-day period, is so that the grant department receives your grant, they read it over, they look it over, they write down questions that they have, because if they have questions, there's a good chance that the board might have the same questions. And if you can answer those questions in advance of it going to the board, you have a better chance, not a guaranteed chance, but a better chance that your grant might get a positive review. So that's the reason for getting it in 90 days early. If you miss a grant date, but all your grant paperwork is ready, you have all the signatures, you've collected the matching funds that you need, there's nothing that says you can't hand it in earlier than 90 days before, just to make sure you make the next deadline. Okay, so keep that in mind as well. Okay, LCIF fundraising. And I like this little slogan, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Teamwork. Okay, so ways to give, and we've talked about a few so far. There's the personal donation that we're all familiar with. There are also pledges where somebody can fill out a form and say, I'd like to give $5,000 a year for the next 5 years, and for a total of $25,000. Some people are in a position where they can do that. Some people might say, I can't do that, but you know what? I can pledge $1,000 and pay it out over 3 years. Anything less than $5,000, you have 3 years to pay off as a pledge. Anything $5,000 or more, you get 5 years. I'm sorry, 25,000 or more, you can pay it out over 5 years. So it's another way to give. And you can then take that a step further and make it a monthly donation so that you don't even really feel it. If you can afford $10 a month, then that's great. And you can contact International personally, or you can write a letter, or you can go online and fill out a form, and they will start taking the money out of whatever account you give them permission to until you say to stop. So $10 a month, you'd be donating $120 a year. $120 a year can make a huge difference. Just in measles shots, we were giving a measles shot to every child for $1, one shot, saved one life because a child would not get the measles. Think about that, 120 children, if you gave $120 a year, would be saved by your donation. And that's why I say the amount of the donation is not the focus, it's the act of giving. Okay, so we have online, we have in person, we have fundraising events, and we have planned giving. Have you had Bob Kononik speak to you yet about that, Claire?
Yes, we had information on that, and even at our strategy session, we were exposed to.
Excellent. Great.
Right.
Now, some people don't like to ask other people to donate because it's that fear of being rejected. When somebody says no, we feel rejected. But there's actually 4 kinds of responses you can get, and they're not all no. The first response is, of course, the best one. Yes, let me fill that form out right away. I am on board. That's the best response. But somebody might say, you know what? I like the idea, but I need to think it over. And your response should just be, okay, great. Can I give you a call next week? So that you have a plan and you have their permission to go ahead and get in touch with them again. Some people will want to make a special offer. You might say, can you donate $500 for the year? And could you do that on a recurring basis? And they might say, you know, I really can't do 500. I could do 100 though. Fantastic. All donations make a difference. So that's what we call making a special offer or looking for a deal. And then of course there's the no, I can't do it right now. And that's a right now kind of thing, because that's sometimes situational and people's situations do change. So there's nothing that says you can't go back sometime later and say, how are things going? And if they sound better, give it another shot. Okay. When geography or time can be limiting and you need to keep in touch, you want communication to be open between your club and yourself and the district and your club. Going virtual like we're doing tonight is a great solution. You can reach more people. Zoom meetings, Zoom trainings, even Zoom fundraisers. During COVID, I don't know how you handled that where you are. In New York, we were doing things like bingo on Zoom. And they made it a lot of fun, and there were prizes, and people got together. They had their glass of wine, and it was a fun time. A little bit of money was raised for a club, and we stayed in contact with each other during a time when it was difficult. So those are some suggestions. There are other suggestions on the online resources from LCIF. And if you go to lionsclubs.org, that's where you can find the toolkit. So again, your main focus is giving information and raising funds. Some of these I'm going to skip through because we've mentioned them a few times now. This flyer I absolutely love. I even made a banner out of it because it lets people know just how important just $100 gift is and how far that can actually go. Okay, so when you have your team in place, you want to make sure that you sit down and make a plan for your year. What type of fundraiser you're going to do? Will it be new? Will it be an old one and just taking a percentage? What is your plan? And then share that plan with your club members so that everybody gets on board with it. Okay. Recognition. Although most Lions do not do things because they're being recognized for it, people do like, I found in Lionism, they love pins. They love pins and they love patches for their banner patches, for their banners to put patches on. So these are presidential pins. And this is the 3rd year of the pin, and they look slightly different each year. Each international president puts a little of their own design into the pin. So this year you see AP Singh's colors are on the bottom of his pin, but they're always bronze, silver, gold, and a Leo's pin. And anybody that pays makes a donation of $50 to just under $100 would get a bronze pin. 100 to just under 200, they get the silver pin. The gold is anything from 200 and above. And Leo pins are $20 for Leo. We want to make it more affordable because they're younger and finances are probably tighter for them. But it's a nice way to recognize, and you can get more than one pin. Now, there was an issue because we had recurring donors who were, say, donating $10 a month. And so they were donating $120 for the year. You would think they would get a silver pin, but they didn't get a pin because they were only donating it at $10 a month. And $10 doesn't get any of these pins. So the good news is that they've come out with a new program that should be starting any day now. And that is the recurring donor program. And they have a whole different set of pins. I don't think I have it on here. Let me see. No, I don't. But they have a whole set of pins. And anybody who has already been a recurring donor and continues to do so this year, as well as anybody who signs up this year to be a recurring donor, at the end of the Lions year, they will get the very first pin. Everybody will start with the first pin. And each year that you continue to be a recurring donor, at the end of that Lions year, you will get the next pin in the series automatically. So you will be recognized as well. We have the Melvin Jones pins and progressive Melvin Jones pins, and these are some examples of them. It's $1,000, but it's not a pin that you have to put $1,000 down immediately. You can do it a little bit at a time. Like I said, they keep records, and whenever you hit that $1,000 mark, it will not come automatically to you. You have to request it, but once you know that you've hit the $1,000 mark, then you can request your pin. It is not an award. It is a fellowship. It is basically acknowledging the fact that you have made humanitarian service possible. So don't feel like you cannot give yourself a Melvin Jones or progressive Melvin Jones, because you are getting acknowledged for making humanitarian service possible, and that's a good thing. And you should wear your pin proudly so others see it, and maybe they will also do the same. These are the recurring donor pins. And this first one down here, I am sorry, they're a little blurry. I had a bad picture to choose from, but this one is the first pin. And you can see they change a little bit each time, and they'll go through the whole bottom row, and then they'll go to the top row, and then I'm sure there will be even more pins. So, and you also get a pen that writes beautifully, and a thank you note as well. Now, clubs can get recognition also. They get banner patches and chevrons every time that the per member average of a club hits certain marks. Right. So the 100% member support banner, I heard somebody say their club was 100% club. That's fantastic. You're going to be getting a banner patch, and if you've already gotten the patch, you'll be getting a chevron at the beginning of next Lions year for that accomplishment. Club donations are credited to the club, and at every $1,000 interval, you'll be able to name a Melvin Jones Fellow or a progressive Melvin Jones Fellow. A 100% Melvin Jones Fellowship Award banner when all current club members are Melvin Jones Fellows. That's a huge accomplishment. And banner patches are earned as new levels of per member averages are achieved. Okay, and here's what some of the patches look like. Okay, resources, as I said, you have lionsclubs.org. You have everything listed on the screen here if you want to take a picture with your phone while this is on the screen. I included my name because even though I don't live in your area, I am more than happy to reach out and help you. You can reach me on WhatsApp. I believe that's probably the easiest way since we're so far apart. Or through email. And I'm happy to help. If you have a question, there are no silly questions. I'm happy to answer them. If you have a grant that you want somebody to look over before you submit it, I'm happy to take a look. I'm not an expert, but I've become pretty knowledgeable about grants. And if I have questions, I know the grant department will have questions. So I can always be happy to look one over for you if you want. Before I leave you and take questions, I just wanted to share the story. I'm going to stop the share right here, though, so we can see each other again. Okay, so the story I was going to tell you, because we talk about telling a story so that people feel connected to donating to our foundation, was a few years ago, Turkey had an earthquake, and it was devastating. People were buried under rubble for days, and they were still finding people alive. Now, they got a grant the day that the earthquake happened, $200,000 catastrophe grant. They used that money not for water, not for clothing, not for food, but because the people that were being buried had not eaten or had anything to drink in days. Their organs were shutting down. And what they needed was the portable defibrillators that saved them. So that's where your money goes. That's where the power that your money has to save lives in some instances, to make people's lives better than they were. So now that, well, actually, I just see the big screen now. Can we go to the full view so I can see everybody?
She wants to see. Oh, she has. I think Lorrie wants the gallery. So
Yes, the
I think
gallery, yes.
you'll
Yes.
have to set the gallery. I think it's you who have to do it for yourself.
Oh, I have
think.
to do it for myself. Oh,
Yes, I
okay.
think so.
Ah,
Yes.
No.
Yes.
let me see if I can do that.
You go to view and then change
Got
the
it.
view.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
she's got it.
And exit full screen. There you go.
Oh,
Okay.
I was off.
Mhm.
I was talking and off, yes.
Okay. So does anybody have any questions? Don't be shy.
There is a question in the chat.
Okay.
The question was, is there two questions? Is there a grant writing session? And so you could answer that, and then I guess the other question you could ask after.
Okay. There can be a grant writing session. I actually have a PowerPoint for that. If you wanted to have another meeting on another night, I'd be happy to go through it and show you how really simple it is to write a grant. People think it's very scary. I'll just give you a little preview. If you all know your first name and your last name, you filled in the first part of a grant and your address and your phone number. So, it goes down the line, but in all seriousness, it's really not scary because they're just asking you for information that you have.
The other question was, how can a club see the amount donated in the current year?
Oh, okay. I'm not sure what access club coordinators have. I was a multiple district coordinator before I got this position, and I had access to everything for my multiple. So coordinators that are on tonight, if you're like Claire, you're a district level or multiple?
Yeah,
district?
multiple district
Multiple
level.
district. Are
And
you aware? Can they go on the portal and see what you see?
and see not what I see, but they can see their totals. If they put the names in at the top, it can show exactly how much they have contributed for the period.
Okay.
The question is from Region Chair Lion Leandra. So Lion Leandra, I could tell you, if you go onto the portal, there is a section called drill down, and you could go in there and then you can see it. I could send you the print screens on how to do it tomorrow.
That's Lion Ernie. That's Lion Ernie has my toggle as well too, but I know how to do it, so I'm fine. And
Okay,
as a district officer, I can also see it in the club health assessment reports that we get every month.
Right.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
I can see it.
Correct.
Right. But the individual ones, you can type your name in. So you have the options depending on your level of access. You have the options to drill down and get it, go into the district positions, or as an individual, you type your name in and get it at the top. There's another question, and Leandra, should I read your question? How can a club see their amount? And I think that's the question we had answered.
That was just answered. Yeah.
Right. If an individual makes a donation, say for instance, US $500 in the name of the club, can the PIN be sent to the club?
Yes. Yes, the pin can be sent to the club and put on the banner that they have where you put your patches normally. You can add pins as well.
Okay.
Any other questions, folks?
Any questions on the DCG grants?
Mm-hmm.
Lion Lorrie, I think that there are not many clubs that qualify for the DCG, but we also have the districts having amounts.
Yes.
And so maybe the district at the district level, they might be able to identify projects that can utilize that with the blessings of the district governor, I take it, right?
Almost.
So
you would need the district cabinet's approval.
yeah.
And the way,
Okay.
just so the other Lions are aware, where a club needs to hit the $5,000 mark, a district, in order to earn DCG money, has to hit a $10,000 mark. But they do that by taking the amounts of money that your clubs have donated, and they add that all together if it did not hit the 5,000 mark. And if that adds up to $10,000 or more, they get that 15%. But then it would be up to the district cabinet or to approve the use of it. And they could also consider giving it to a club that's doing a project and could use some extra money. The club could ask the district. It would be up to the cabinet if they approve it.
And also coming back to DCGs again. So these can be used by clubs for individual projects, and the type of projects that they can get funding for, maybe if we can explain to them, because I think that they feel it has to be a very large project or something like that.
Oh, okay. So no, that is not the case. It does not have to be hundreds of $1,000s in your project. It could be a small project, like, I don't know if you do this where you are, but for schools up here, sometimes we'll buy backpacks and fill them with school supplies for the beginning of the year for students that need those supplies. And that might be like $1,000 or $2,000 project. So it doesn't have to be a large project. It is the only grant that you can ask for as a club individually. All the other LCIF grants require a minimum of 2 clubs to work together. So, but that does not apply to a DCG, and that's because you've sort of earned the money.
Yes. Lion Jennifer from Lions Club Kingston is asking if she can have the slides from Lion Lorrie's presentation so she can share with her members after.
Sure, I'll send it to Maxine and Claire, and they can disseminate it any way they'd like.
Great. Any other questions?
So there's someone, Amaral Newton has his hands up or her hands up.
Yes, thank you. I missed the question and I only heard a part of the answer just now when Lorrie was mentioning or describing the DCG. There was something about 2 clubs having to apply or 1 club being able to use it. If you can repeat that, please.
Sure. DCG money is earned by a club by making their donations. So it is the only LCIF grant that can be used by an individual club, Normally, you need at least 2 clubs to work together on an LCIF grant, not the case for DCG.
No, Minneapolis this way.
Any other questions? Going once, going twice. Lion Elaine? And who is Carmen?
Yes, Lion Lorrie. I think because when I get the reports, I notice that sometimes some of the clubs still make donations to LCIF and they put for disaster and not for the greater need. And that also affects how much DCG grant money they get. So I think maybe to explain more, you mentioned it, you did mention it, but I think to I guess drive it home why it's important to do for any.
Okay, so empowering service is sort of a generic catch-all for donations. It's not assigned to any one particular donation. So if money is needed for disaster relief, if somehow we ran out of disaster relief money and there was another disaster that hit, we wouldn't say, we're sorry, you're on your own. We would never do that. We would just turn to the empowering service money and say, we can use this because this is not designated for anything special. And so we can go to the empowering service money and use it for that disaster, or we can use it for other needs as they come up. So empowering service, it used to be called area of greatest need.
Yeah.
And I don't know why they changed the name of it. It's shorter, I guess. It's a slightly shorter, but it's now called empowering service. And it really is the best way to give. It's the most advantageous to clubs to give that way, and individuals help their clubs by giving that way, even when there is a disaster. So, and the other thing is, if you give disaster relief money, if your heart is like, you know what, we live near Jamaica, we want Jamaica to have the disaster money. Remember, they're not exactly getting the disaster money that you're sending in now. They're getting money that was sent in previously first, okay? But do not write Jamaica on the memo line, because now you've gone from limiting it to any disaster to a specific disaster. And when Jamaica doesn't need any more money, that money will sit in the bank until Jamaica has another emergency. Okay, so it's sort of the same idea now spread to empowering service. If you take a general disaster and you put your money there, it's going to stay there for disasters only, which sadly happen more frequently, but still, you don't want it sitting there and not doing good when you could put it in empowering service and can be used immediately. It's another way to think of it.
Okay. Now, Lorrie, before you go, I would like you to repeat your explanation with regard to the difference with the administrative funds and the use of funds from projects and from public fundraisers towards LCIF.
Okay, so I was getting the impression, I don't know if I was right or not, that maybe that was being confused with administrative money and LCIF money. So if that was the case, administrative money, you're allowed to do an administrative fundraiser, but as I said, it's kind of frowned upon to do it outside of your club. We all do it inside our clubs. We might do little mini fundraisers at our club meeting. Everybody chips in $1 if they talked when they weren't supposed to talk, or they, you do a penny auction, or, we all have things that we do. And that's okay, because it's coming from the members and it's going into our admin account. That's okay. But if you had a fundraiser, let's say you were doing a basket auction, so the public is attending that. They want to know that their money is going back to the public. They don't want to pay for your administrative accounts. So that's why it's sort of frowned upon. But if you put a little blurb that says this is an administrative fundraiser, you're technically in the clear with it, but it really shouldn't be done. Now, LCIF is not the same way. LCIF is money that's going to go back to the public. It's just going to go back through our foundation, not our club. And it is money that can come from the public as well as Lions themselves and clubs, because all of that money is going to humanitarian service. So it's all going to go 100% back into the public. And that's the difference.
Great. So one more time, any other questions, any other comments before we come to a close?
Yes, I have one more, please.
Okay.
Lion
Say the
Lorrie.
name, Lion.
Amaral Newton, Lion Amaral,
Okay.
Lions Club
Yes.
Tortola. Is my thought process is that we're looking at a community center for use for after schools and etc. And while I have you the expert on LCIF funding, I wanted to ask a question. Could we apply for granting to go towards putting that facility together? Is that something that's allowed, or it should be? Because I know it's for community development as well. So I just wanted to get a clear-cut response on that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Are you talking about physically building the building or repairing the building, or are you talking about stocking it with supplies that the people would need to use?
Well, I would take both folds, doing some work to prepare space and as well then putting the supplies that would be used for the after school and other activities.
Okay. I'm not 100% sure on the building part of it, but I think because it's not an organization that owns it, it's a community center, that you would be okay with that. But that I would double check with the grant department themselves. As far as stocking it with the supplies and the things that the people will use when they're attending the center, that should not be an issue.
Thank you. Thank
Okay.
you.
Great. All right. Thank you guys so much for your questions. Thank you, Lion Lorrie, for your expertise, your wealth of knowledge sharing with us. But before I go on further, allow me to recognize our two second vice district governors who are with us tonight. I can see Lion Bikram Ganga from Suriname and Lion Davy Woods from Barbados. Am I correct?
St. Martin.
St. Martin.
Yeah.
Do I have any other district governors with us? Those were the only two names I saw. So thank you guys for joining and for sharing your time with us this evening. And to do our formal thank you, to bring the curtains down.
Lion Rudy has a question.
Lion Rudy has a question.
Just to say that Lion Terrence Ennis is also attending.
Say again?
Lion Terrence Ennis is also on.
Oh,
Past International Director.
Director. Oh, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. So I'll ask Lion Carmen to do a formal thank you, an expression of thanks to Lion
Hello,
Lorrie
Lion
and to
Chair.
the team.
Lion Chair. This is Terrence
Yes,
Innes,
Lion
but it's not,
Terrence
yeah, but
Innes.
it's not the Terrence Innes, the director. Terrence Innes, the director from Trinidad, but this is Terrence Innes from Barbados, the Lions Club team. So they're the same name, but two different people. So sorry.
Okay.
All right.
You don't want to see Terrence, you know, it's Terrence Boswell Innes.
Right. This is Terrence Desire
Same
Innes.
name. Okay. Thanks for sharing that. Lion Carmen, the mic is over to you.
Thank you. It's not how much you give, it's that you give. And you give because you are a lion and this is your foundation. Those are words that we should keep in our hearts when we think about giving to LCIF. Thank you, Lion Lorrie, for such inspiring words. We want to thank all the Lions who have attended to our LCIF Club Coordinator session. Your presence, engagement, and the commitment to strengthening the impact of LCIF truly reflects the heart of service within our district and our global Lions family. A heartfelt thank you to our humanitarian partner, Lion Lorrie Reiger, our LCIF CA1 Vice Chair, for sharing her deep knowledge, passion, and experience with us. Her insights remind us of the power of LCIF and the extraordinary difference we make when we champion our foundation. We would also like to thank CA1 leader, Lion Maxime Cummings, for graciously introducing our special guest and supporting this important learning experience. Special thanks to the entire MD60 LCIF team for organizing and delivering such an informative and impactful session. Your dedication ensures our coordinators are equipped, inspired, and ready to lead with excellence. Together, we continue to build hope, empower communities, and strengthen the mission of LCIF across our region and beyond. Thank you so very much to everyone. Once again, good night.
Thank you, Lion Carmen. And just to be reminded of the quote from Helen Keller that says, alone we can do so little. Together we can do so much. And I'm happy that we were able to do a lot tonight and have a lot of takeaway. So thank you everyone for being here. I appreciate your company. Have a blessed night, and Lion